right, let's start this again. I'm sorry, guys. I had a live stream at noon today and it didn't work, but we're back. We're live. Options Unleashed. This is the halftime show at 2 o'clock Eastern. This is after Powell spoke today. So let's get into it. Obviously, the markets are bouncing all around. The Qs are strong. The energy's strong. Spiders are up slightly. We'll get into that a little bit. And then retail being the worst of the bunch today, and the ARK funds being down, EM slightly down, gold slightly up, Bitcoin slightly down. But let's look. The focus today was the Fed, and then we'll get into some option trades. And just as a kind of a reminder, please join me on my Discord. We post daily, the daily grind. You can find me on Discord, Twitter, YouTube. My Discord channel is in my profile, or you can find it on YouTube. Here in the Discord really is almost like the option playbook, if you will, and inviting you all to talk about your option trades. It's updated most days. And I'm trying to do more live videos and more option videos. We have an options 101 section. We have opening trades, all my opening trades. Invite other people to also be in these forums and talk about their trades and why they're positioning, what you're bullish on, what you're technically bullish on, what you're technically bearish on. Daily conversations, help each other learn about options and, get into serious option trades. This show is really meant to be about options, 100% options. But we do have to cover the larger markets, obviously. As option traders, we don't really try to pick a direction so much, but we want to trade in those probabilities. We want to use technical analysis. At least I do. I use technical analysis to help me better refine my trades. And then on a daily basis, I use the VIX. So I use a 1-minute chart on the spiders. And then I look at my VIX on the right-hand side. And I use the VIX to see if it's breaking various levels. If you could see this morning, even we found this nice trend line up on the 5-minute chart. And then Powell spoke. Before Powell spoke, the market ripped higher. And then this is during the speak. And then when he finished speaking, the market came all the way back down and tanked. Coming back slightly here, I actually managed to, I bought a couple hundred shares of spiders in here just to protect against a higher close today, because I am delta negative. Most of my positions are delta negative, because I'm hedging against a bigger portfolio as well. So we'll get into that. But before that, let's just talk about the spiders really quick again. They opened what I think down a little bit based on the futures. Again, a lot of worryingness and volatility around the Fed. You knew Powell was going to speak, so it kind of was forming a bottom in here this morning, and then it kind of broke out ahead of the speech. And then on the 5-minute chart, you can just see it when he spoke, right before he spoke, and during the whole speech, the market just took off to 415, and it kind of went back to these, almost up to that candle here. So it's, the spiders are trying to at least fill that old gap around that 421 area. That would be considered pretty bullish, but I still think we need to retest the trend line. The pros are waiting for that retest to happen before they push into anything new. So the pros are probably reducing positions while the retail is still. This is all retail. This is all driven by retail. So that's the 5-minute chart. The VIX is pretty much, unchanged now for the day. Not a lot going on, but let's look at some of my major trades that we have on. Let's look at the retail first, and we're going to talk about Disney earnings today too, by the way. And tomorrow is a live show at 12 o'clock on Disney. So I'm short a lot of retail names just because we've had a really quick run up. So I'm short Restoration Hardware via I have a strangle. I had a strangle on, and it actually came down significantly. It's actually testing that lower strike. So, and then just yesterday, I actually put on another short call for this week ending Friday the 10th, looking for that additional push lower because they came out and said that they had to readjust their earnings. You can actually look really quick at the Restoration Hardware graph here. So again, we used technical analysis. It had two double tops in here and a major, what do we call, I guess, a supply zone. So I figured I was taking a position off that supply zone. It did have me worried, I got to admit. When it broke out of that other top, I thought, it could actually move higher, and I was ready to pull the trigger on my trade and take a loss. But then it came back down, and then I recently sold a call and made that more of a strangle in here. So that's where I am right here. I'm kind of happy with this strangle. And then because I think it might go lower short term before Friday, I rounded it out with the February 10th strangle. Let's look at another name, Wayfair. This one I'm kind of borrowing from Tony Batista, Tasty Trade. He had I guess a strangle on Wayfair that went against him because Wayfair had been doing good recently. We're playing these run-ups, right? Wayfair just broke up before earnings and had a huge run, so I'm playing it back down to fill this gap. That's what I was playing for with the what we call a jade lizard. For those of you that don't know what a jade lizard is, it's it's basically a short call spread like this, and then you take and you round that out with a short put, naked put that's out 16 delta. So in this case, you're getting that short call spread, the 62.63 February 17th, which is 10 days away now. So that 10 days away expiration short call spread, and then you have a 55 put that rounds it out. So your risk is really to the downside. Now this trade, because it's Wayfair, it's a little expensive, and I have 7 short puts here. That's about $14,000 in premium in buying power reduction. I have a good article on buying power reduction in my Discord. Check out position sizing, buying power reduction, and risk management. So when we sell options, when we sell naked, there's a buying power reduction. Usually, like in rule of thumb, it's 20% of the strike price minus the strike minus the current price that you're buying at, times 100, all that jazz. But it's usually 20% margin buying power reduction, and then you're going to have even a little bit more with that short call spread. So this is about a $14,000 outlay in margin, but I'm willing to do that to have a 76% win rate here right now. And basically in the next 10 days, making over $1,100 if I can get Wayfair to close between 54 and 60. And I chose that 16 delta down here at 54, 55, because of that gap down here. So I'm just expecting it to kind of fill that gap down here, at least down to here. If it fills the gap, I start to lose money, but this is a very short-term trade. It's only 10 days. So I didn't expect it to, don't expect it to move down that much, but I can always adjust, right? Another highly negative delta trade I have on right now is NVIDIA. Actually, let's just keep on the retail trade for a second here. I also have DRI. Let's look at DRI. I have another Jade Lizard on Darden Restaurants. Similar type thing, expecting a move lower in Darden. Do I have Home Depot on? Home Depot, I have an unbalanced put butterfly in Home Depot targeting, down in this range. what else do I have on? XRT, I believe, as well. Home Depot, Target. So a lot of retail trades this month. Really, I'm not huge into retail trades, but I've got also now an unbalanced put butterfly on Target, and I believe I had XRT. I think I closed it out. So, but let's now take a look at some of the tech. So I'm going to summarize on these trades just really quick because we don't have that much time for this live feed today. But NVIDIA, Tesla, Meta, CRM, ServiceNow, these are all trades that I targeted as basically the too far, too fast, right? So you had Meta went straight up, and it kind of Meta like just filled this, had a like island reversal, I guess. Hasn't confirmed it yet, but just, Mark Zuckerberg came out on earnings and said, we're going to lower our costs, and they're going to listen to the street, and we're going to make everybody happy. We're going to continue to invest in the metaverse, but they've convinced shareholders that they're going to do right by them. They have a little bit of a supply zone up here. So I'm just targeting Meta to come back and test that, kind of test this 50-day or 200-day moving average, if you will. Same thing with Tesla. Just too far, too fast on these trades. I mean, it just cranked to the upside on Tesla. And looking for, so what I've done on those two, just to take a look at Tesla over on Thinkorswim, I've got, basically I have a short call. So I sold my puts as Tesla moved up, but I've got a short call for the 10th of March, right out to that 235 strike price. And then I have two more. As Tesla went up the other day, I sold two more calls at the 246 strike price. So I've got quite a bit of margin out here on Tesla. I won't sell any puts yet until I see it come down a little bit. So starting to come off a little bit, but has more room. It's down $1.61 right now. So really targeting Tesla to come in a little bit. Same thing with NVIDIA. NVIDIA just blasted higher. It's still going against me, but I sold puts in here this week, so I'm now left with my short calls. I'm happy with this position. You just have to sit them out in some cases. Let them come in, if you will. This is going to be positive theta. It's negative gamma, I believe. But if you look at the trade for NVIDIA, I got a minus 68 delta, so that means I'm bearish. I have got a negative gamma, which means the stock, if the price moves up, it's obviously moving against me on any moves up. And I have a positive theta, though, so I'm collecting money every day as theta. We have theta decay, so that's a good move. That's a good thing. Gamma's not too bad in here. I'm not too worried about this right now. And again, if NVIDIA comes down and does what it's supposed to do, I'll just sell puts in there or just take the trade off, at 50%. 50% profit. We never let our trades. We usually don't let our trades go fully because it's too risky. So you can see NVIDIA up here, there's a small risk of filling up here this gap, but I'm hoping for a nice little pullback here, and that will just complete my my short call before earnings. Is it before earnings? Yeah, it'll be before earnings on 2/22. So some of these trades expiring. This is actually after earnings. So I've got to make a decision before then, but I've got time on my side. So NVIDIA is kind of it's kind of going against me a little bit, but not too worried. Meta also. So looking at the day, profits on the day, we've got Tesla's doing well for me, because these are negative delta trades. Netflix is doing well for me. Let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix, I got a big strangle on. Love it where it is. Positive theta. Kind kind of delta neutral, if you will. So I'm happy with this. This is on the March 3rd. So I got some time left on this one, 24 days. You know, I'm really happy with the Netflix trade. So not much going on there. SPX, I have a big iron condor in SPX because I played the volatility move that we were going to get with Powell. So basically, I had when spiders moved up last week, I shorted the call spread into that, and then as it came back down, I kind of I put on a little bit of a put spread to just kind of complete an iron condor in that trade. What else is another trade? Alta is the big retail again. Another retail one that I expect, to just kind of try to get back to a mean reversion on Alta before earnings. So in this case, again, just targeting maybe that, kind of hoping that we can get down back to that. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of that. Sorry about that. Alta, I'm trying to hope for this break in here and kind of pull back to at least back to that 484, maybe even lower before earnings. Who knows, but it's too far too fast. Alta's been a great holding of mine over the years, but it's just broken out and it just looks like it needs to take a breather. So for Alta, what I did here is just, for better or for worse, I just threw on an unbalanced butterfly. I'm only risking, 2 to make, maybe 17 in here. It's not a bad trade. Really defined risk, low risk. If it comes in, it's got positive gamma. So as Alta moves lower, I'm going to profit from the trade. I could take it off even if it comes down to 500. Alta has the ability to move 10 points easy in a given day. So we'll see how that trade comes out. So that's Alta. ServiceNow, I'm also I was playing the CRM ServiceNow. I've got a big strangle in here. Let's see if I can show you what that looks like. Yeah, so I got a strangle. Do I have a strangle? No, I don't. I do have a strangle, but it's kind of a weird dated strangle. I've got the March 3rd, 400. I got the 410 put, right? And then I've got the March 17th, 530 call. So basically the way I was playing ServiceNow is anytime it moves higher, I was just selling calls against it, right? Selling into the direction of strength. So I'm happy with this trade right now. Positive theta. If you look at my positive thetas that we like to manage, you've got, forget about B-Drive for a minute. That's the shipping company, but whatever, the shipping index. But so Restoration Hardware, big theta, SPX theta, Wayfair, Netflix, Now, Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, CRM, all good theta decay in there. Happy with that. What you have to watch is your negative theta, obviously, your Apples. I got to trade on Apple still. I don't even remember what I had. Yeah, see, I just have a put left over for that. So nothing to write home about there. So that's about it. But the thing that we'll get into tomorrow, guys, is we have, and some of you guys are here for this, is the Disney trade tomorrow. Here's a real quick analysis on Disney and what I have so far, and you guys let me know if you agree with this in the chat or not. So let me remove all these drawings before I start, because I tried to do a video this morning that never went through. Disney, obviously in the supply zone. We've got the Bob Iger effect, came back as CEO. We've got a major insider that wants to be on the board, so the stock has run up. It's also run up with that China and just in general Disney reopen trade, right? And it's run up with retail, so and travel. So it's got the travel, it's got the streaming, it's got the Avatar movie, it's got Disney reopen trade. But the only thing I'm thinking, I think it's a little bit too far, too fast. I think a lot of the traders are expecting it to come down. It's about a $6 move in Disney for earnings tomorrow night. it's a $6 move. That'll be one standard deviation. I like to target like a 2 standard deviation move. So how we do that is we go to the Analyze tab. We look at the implied volatility right now is 85% for Friday. So this would be 3 days to expiration. You'd look down, if you want to look at a put, you would look at the 16 delta. That's your 1 standard deviation move. That's usually your expected move. It's about a 74 cents for that put. So if I were to just show you what that looks like really quick, if you were to sell that 16 delta, that's the 103 strike, and you were to sell the 16 delta on the call side, that's the 120 strike. That would give you a strangle that is selling for $1.51. That's not bad. And that would be a 1 standard deviation move. So if you put this on 210, it's probably, let's see, is it a 1 standard deviation move? Yeah, it's about a 1 standard deviation move. What we typically like to do is widen our strikes, especially, I mean, look, guys, if Disney's been in this big down run, we don't have a lot of clarity on earnings, although I will say earnings have been inside moves so far this year, but earnings are really tough to predict, especially with the CEO coming back, especially with the China reopening and the parks reopening. You just don't know where Disney's going to be. This whole range of supply is open for question. A lot of traders, I believe, are targeting this one. I want to say this, if you look at the TA on this, the support is that you're like 190. The last gap was 96, right? You're looking at probably like a 99 support level in here, somewhere in here. There's another line of support down here, this gap at 97. So this is the region where you're looking for a pullback. A $12 move would easily put you back to that 99 area, and that's that 2 standard deviation move. But they can also surprise into the upside, and that's okay too, because the pros will just kind of let it go and not chase it, and then come back as it back tests and refills. It's going to have a hard time getting out of this supply zone. If they crush it, it can still come back and you still get in the stock. You're not missing a lot. But I think most traders, let's take a look at actually where Disney is trading today. Calls and puts. Let's take a look. There's 64,000 calls to 45 puts. You want to look at the sizzle. If you look at the sizzle index, people are actually more bearish right now on Disney, even though there's more calls. There's a 1.3 put sizzle index over a 1.1 call sizzle. So people are bearish on Disney. I really think, what I did was I put a defined risk trade on instead of a strangle, and we'll go over this tomorrow. I might put more of these on. Right now I've got 5 contracts. I'm risking $1 to make somewhere 50% of that move, about $7, so not bad. About a 600% move in one day, or 2 days, or till Friday. This is a defined risk trade. It won't hurt you. There's some other things we'll look at tomorrow. We'll look at strangles. We'll look at maybe a call diagonal, but we'll let this implied volatility of 85% tomorrow. It should be around 90%. And we'll see if we can get some more juice out of these calls. See if we can maybe target down to the 98 level would be a good target. But that's the trade right now I have on. It's a put diagonal. It's not going to hurt me. It's a defined risk trade. Mention in the chat or the Discord if you want to hear more about diagonals and the strangles that we talked about today, and also the Jade Lizard. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and have a good rest of your day. We will be on tomorrow at noon for the Disney live trade. So join us tomorrow, and feel free to comment in the Discord and follow me, and let's do some option trading. Thanks, everybody.